What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
That use fiat currency as a store of value. We call them core. We call them core. People that use fiat currency, we call them core. We call them core. We call them core. We call them core. There's a name for them. We call them core. We call them core. Okay? Right, like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right, but we can all look Bitcoin sort of as...
Forever, Laura. People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them core. We call them core. People that use fiat currency, we call them core. We call them core. We call them core. We call them core. There's a name for them. We call them core. 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 Okay.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It's good to see each and every one of you. If you can hear me okay and everything looks good on the screen, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me or things look and sound bad, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who's in the building early. All right. Shout out to Catsy. What's good with the Catsy being a mod extraordinaire out here? Make sure y'all do what she say. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. You know, Brooklyn Queen being a mod extraordinaire. Make sure y'all do what she say. Shout out to my man Carlton. What's good with it, bro? We got AB Promotions in the building. My man Fomosaki. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to my man TD Media Group. What's good with it, bro? If y'all didn't see the live stream TD just did, make sure y'all go check it out. You know what I'm saying? The government organization Doge finna gut that financial system and get that Ripple stable coin in there so we can skyrocket. Right? Shout out to my man Fantizzi. What's good with it, bro? And we got my man Black Free Thinker being a mod extraordinaire. Big facts. Make sure y'all do what he say. All right? Make sure y'all do what he say. Shout out to my man Emperor Rex. All right? So check this out, man. Bitcoin is going to zero. And when I say Bitcoin is going to zero, what I mean is there's going to be a bunch more zeros behind the one. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, you guys know it's been a lot of sideways price action. Why do you guys think that the sideways price action has been popping off? Shout out to Alonda. What's good with it? All right. The sideways price action keeps popping off, but we keep getting massive amounts of good news. We keep getting massive news about Bitcoin adoption. Shout out to my man, John Guillory. What's good with it, bro? We keep getting news about Bitcoin strategic reserves all over the place, right? We keep getting all this good news, but yet the prices are not reflecting, which is cool, right? Which is cool because February is the second month of the year. And number two, that means that we can double what we got right now, all right? And as far as quote unquote doubling opportunities go, as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of meme coins, good doubling opportunities right now. And honestly, Avalanche and SuiSwap, if you ask me, are great doubling opportunities right now. Honestly, Polkadot and Cosmos as well. All right. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. You can get some pretty attractive staking rates on Atom, right? On Cosmos. You can get some pretty attractive staking rates on Polkadot. You know what I'm saying? You know, man, I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. When it comes to Atom and Polkadot, you know what I'm saying? It's been kind of rough. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? You can still accumulate right now and get good staking rates on it and get all that Atom and get all that Polkadot for free with the staking, right? So that when the alt season does start, which again, I don't know if there's ever going to be a thing, quote unquote, called alt season anymore, because if we got Bitcoin going after major market caps, how can any of the other cryptocurrencies get large enough to have more than 50% market dominance, right? But that's another conversation for another day. It doesn't mean it's the end of altcoins. It just, I don't know how they're going to categorize altcoin season anymore, right? You got SuiSwap doing real well, and Avalanche is at like $25, which is amazing because like the average regular price for Avalanche is between, I want to say like around $35 to $45. So if you get a decent amount right now, you know what I'm saying, you good. Polygon is real good right now, right? H-bar is real good right now. Ripple is good right now. It's a lot of good things that got some good buying signals right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if I was you guys, you know what I'm saying? Now is the time. Get you some overtime, stack up a little bit. You know what I said about the Bitcoin? When it's under $100,000, that increases the likelihood of you being able to get a full Bitcoin, and it's under 100,000. So do what you can do right now, because I think the next pump over $100,000, I think that that's probably going to be the end of the 5-digit era. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. All right. Now, as far as doubling opportunities go, right? Van X says this about Solana. How's this sound? What do you guys think about that? TD down there hating. You hating, TD? You hating? It's all good. It's all good. Solana could hit $520 by 2025 end, Van X says. That's a nice doubling opportunity. That's a little bit more than double what we working with right now, right? A little bit more than double what we working with right now. Shout out to your boy TD. You know what I'm saying? He trying to double that goal, man. Make sure y'all show TD some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man TD. TD says, hating on Rob is my favorite sport. Hey, it's one thing about that sport. You won't find any inappropriate genders in it. You definitely won't. You know what I'm saying? There won't be any inappropriate genders in that sport. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man TD, man. Make sure y'all show TD some love. He the first one on the board with the goal. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man TD funding the organization. And he bought y'all lunch.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
So don't push me, ain't Donald Trump trying to grab him by the... Said it was some Haitians somewhere out in Springfield. Women doing cartwheels.
Have you seen Garfield?
Have you seen Snowball? This about to snowball. I'm about to go off. I can't let this go on. Miss me like an airball. Tell me when my cat is coughing up like a hairball. I gotta tell them if they even put the fingernail on Santa's little helper to turn them to hamburger helper. Somebody better help them, cause I'm going to jail for showing them fellas helter skelter. Usually I'm content, but if you touch my dog, then I'm turning into John Wick. I'm lit. Bird better drop it. If you touch my pet, then I'm pulling up like CrossFit. Gone overseas where they said Hello Kitty, but it ain't there, it's right here in your city. When I turn my back, now the cat goes missing and where my peoples is at. Does anybody know where he flipping at? Cause I heard they putting claws on felines, I'm mad. And my cat disappeared just like Felix the cat. And got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat.
Drop that cat.
Shout out to you, bro. I definitely appreciate it. Cassie said we need a eating the cats coin. Listen, go on pump.fund and make it. You know what? They said that pump.fund is responsible for the reason why there's been a delayed altcoin season. Can you guys believe that? Radium, which is a Solana-based coin, has gotten more inflows to it than, if I'm not mistaken, Ethereum as a whole. Radium is definitely a token that I pay attention to. Shout out to my man Win Loser Rug. I would also pay attention to Jupiter as well. Jupiter has been doing really well also. A lot of these Solana DeFi tokens are doing very well. But yeah, man, there's been billions of dollars of liquidity on pump.fund. And, you know, a lot of analysts are saying, I told you guys, man, pump.fund got to be stopped. But a lot of the reason why altcoin season hasn't popped off the way people are expecting it to pop off is because of all of the money going into pump.fund and a lot of people trying to hit that degenerate jackpot. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Slowing things down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not mad at it, though. You know what I'm saying? Now, you could, you know, get you some nice little doubles here on Solana, throw that bad boy in some type of staking and you know, just kind of sit on it. It's not $520 yet. You know what I'm saying? It's actually low. If you kind of check the market, you can sometimes catch it at around $189, $195. You can catch you some Solana under, you know, $200, which if you're buying for a $520 future price, you know what I'm saying? You can't really beat that. You cannot really beat it. You know what I'm saying? So VanEck predicts M2 money supply will grow to $22.3 trillion by 2025 from the current 21.5 trillion, boosting crypto markets and top tokens such as Solana. All right. So how you guys feel about that? What you guys think? You know what I'm saying? VanEck, they're pretty accurate. Investment firm VanEck predicts Solana to touch $520 by the end of 2025. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many people are positioned well with Solana to benefit from a $520 pump by the end of the year? My advice for everybody, any amount of cryptocurrency that you have, you should always be working to position yourself to, at the very least, where your wallet will either pump to $10,000 or $100,000 based on the future predictions and what you have right now. So here's my question. How many people are positioned to have spot $10,000 if Solana hits $520? If you are, throw some flames in the chat. If you're not, throw some tears in the chat and get you some damn Solana, right? Using an auto-regressive forecast model, we estimate Solana's market cap will reach $250 billion, implying a Solana price of $520 based on 486 million floating tokens, it said, all right? Investment firm Van Eck predicts Solana will touch $520 by the end of 2025 as the demand for smart contract platforms grow and M2 money supply increases in the coming months. M2 money supply measures how much money is circulating in the U.S. economy, which tends to influence the crypto market. M2 money supply includes cash, checking deposits, and easily convertible near money like savings deposits and money market funds. All right. Van Eck predicts that M2 money supply will grow to $22.3 trillion by 2025 from the current $21.5 trillion. Now, that doesn't look like a big increase, right? That doesn't look like a big increase. You like 20 from 21 trillion to 23. That's not bad. We're talking about a $1 trillion increase. $1 trillion. How big is a trillion? You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about small numbers. How big is a trillion? Look at Bitcoin, right? With Bitcoin at $100,000, you say, oh, it's only a 5% increase for the day. That's $5,000. That's $5,000. This is what I want people to start doing. Start training your brain to think like a calculator. Okay? Start training your brain to think like a computer. Okay? If we're going to be working with numbers, we're going to be dealing with numbers, we're going to be looking at numbers, we're going to be manipulating numbers, you need to start thinking like a calculator. All right? You cannot think like a normal person, because normal people, what did Michael Saylor say about them? Are poor. Normal people are broke. Normal people are not here. Normal people will still be in the same position that they've been in and ask, well, how did you get all that money? And you'll just tell them, we stopped using fiat, right? So now here it says, when central banks increase M2 by lowering interest rates or through quantitative easing, more money enters circulation. All right. And what you're going to start seeing is you're going to start seeing a lot of these articles that are coming out. We'll probably talk about some tomorrow at some point, where they're talking about how these quote unquote tariffs and these quote unquote trade wars and this quote unquote economic and global market volatility could possibly be good for Bitcoin. Right. And this is why inflation, ease of access to liquidity, more circulating money gives people the ability to have a higher probability of putting some of that money into cryptocurrency, which in theory should increase the market cap across the board. All right. Leading to more liquidity in the economy and encouraging investments in risk assets such as cryptocurrencies. All right. On the other hand, the SCP market is where platforms like Solana operate, allowing for the creation and execution of smart contracts, which Van Eck indicates could grow by 43% to reach 1.1 trillion by the end of 2025. Currently, Solana holds about 15% of this market, but Van Eck expects this to raise 22% by the end of the year. We forecast its share to raise by 22% by end of the year 2025. So we're looking at the end of the year 2025, ladies and gentlemen. So let me ask you guys this question. Is $500 a good $520, is that a good phone alert to set for Solana? If $520 is a good phone alert to set for Solana, give me a thumbs up. If it's not, then give me a thumbs down. All right. This projection is supported by Solana's developer dominance, increasing market share in DEX volumes, revenue, and active users. Using an auto-regressive forecast model, we estimate Solana's market cap will reach $250 billion, implying a Solana price of $520 based on 486 million floating tokens it added. An autoregressive forecast model looks at past data to predict future values. That's kind of like looking at past human behavior, right, to predict future events, which, if you ask me, pretty damn accurate, right? Pretty damn accurate. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. Also, please share the stream to your social media. All right. VanEck is among a bunch of U.S. firms that filed for a Solana ETF in 2024. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. Solana ETF passage, right? How many people saw Litecoin? If I'm not mistaken, Litecoin is up double digits, doing pretty good. It's like about 11% up against the rest of the market, right? A lot of the Litecoin movement has been based on the fact that they think that Litecoin will be one of the first altcoins to get approved for an ETF, if you don't count Ethereum as an altcoin, right? So my question is, when Solana starts getting approved for altcoin ETFs, what's going to happen to the price? Now, remember, these $520 predictions that VanEck made are not contingent on estimates of ETF inflows. They're not contingent on ETF inflow predictions. All right. So what happens to the Solana price if there's a Solana ETF approval and then multiple organizations start applying for ETF approvals with Solana? How does that affect the price? Let me know. All right. Previously, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission had previously refused to acknowledge several applications for ETFs tracking Solana and had told CBOE to take down its previously uploaded 19B-4Ss for those ETFs. However, in a shift in tone on Thursday, the SEC acknowledged a filing by Grayscale for its Solana ETF, meaning that the commission now has until October to approve or deny the application. Now, the fact that Grayscale applied for this ETF, I think that the government will, I think they'll approve it because Grayscale hits back. All right. When the SEC comes with nonsense, Grayscale doesn't play around. They will hit back and they will win. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, with Grayscale filing this Solana ETF is really good. We got till October to see how this changes the price movement. And if it changes the price movement and gets Solana where we need to have it at, hey, that's what's good, right? So next, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Bitcoin, all right? Because, you know, Bitcoin has been kind of weird. Bitcoin has been kind of weird. How would you guys describe Bitcoin? What's going on with Bitcoin? Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory says it makes sense. They have the $512 prediction for Solana because that ETF approval will shoot it up. Yeah, but that prediction was not contingent on that ETF approval, though. That's what's so crazy about it, right? So imagine what happens if that ETF approval, you know, gets done. Now we're talking some nice money. And if you've been investing right now for October, and if it hits in October, hey, you'd be in a good position, right? Bitcoin's cycle top isn't in, just mid-bull pullback, says an analyst. All right, now I think it's interesting, right? How many people pay attention to this stuff on a daily basis? What percentage of Bitcoin's all-time high is Bitcoin trading at? As weird as Bitcoin has kind of been, you know, it can't be denied that Bitcoin is kind of hovering at like around 96, 97% of the all-time high, which is really good, and it hasn't gone anywhere, right? The resistance seems to be at around 96% of the all-time high, which means what? It's probably going to go up higher, right? That's what that would lead people to believe, right? So if you guys think that Bitcoin is going to go up higher than where it's at right now, give me a thumbs up. If you don't think that it's going to go up higher than where it is right now, then give me a thumbs down. All right. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? It's probably going to go up a lot higher. All right. And again, when we're talking about going up a lot higher, where Bitcoin is right now, it's not hard for it to go up higher. You know, a bad day for Bitcoin going up 1%, that's $1,000 per one Bitcoin. 2%, $2,000, 3%, $3,000, and so on. If we're talking about a $99,000 to $101,000 price, right? So now here, this is saying, wondering what's next for Bitcoin amid its subdued price action. And again, the fact that they can call this subdued price action is just wild. You know what I'm saying? Here are some key on-chain and historical insights. All right, so this is some interesting stuff to pay attention to. Now, you know, shout out to everybody in the chat, right? We're going to take a moment real quick. How many people saw the Modern Investors video this morning? If you guys saw the Modern Investors video, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't, then give me a thumbs down. Why am I asking if you guys saw the Modern Investors video? It's always interesting to me to listen to you know, content creators that actually put a lot of their personal opinions and insights into their live streams, because I think that makes them more valuable, right? It's more because to me it makes it more valuable because you actually hear how this person feels about you know, certain situations that they may be discussing, and they also express how they feel about public sentiment. Right now, why am I saying that? I'm saying that to say this. Do you guys notice how frustrated and irritated and just kind of like just, you know, angry the Modern Investor sounds? Do you notice that? Do you notice that? If you guys notice that, throw some flames in the chat. If you don't notice it, you know what I'm saying, you know, maybe take a listen to a couple of videos, right? But I find it fascinating. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's extremely annoyed. Now, let's dive into that, right? What now? And the thing is, you know, you could tell, shout out to AB. AB says he's always mad. He is, man. But the thing is, you could just tell, you know, he's not an always mad person. And it's like he's mad because he's talking to a brick wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, Modern Investor been around for a long time, man. His channel is one of the channels I watched when I first got into crypto. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching the Modern Investor for a while. Been watching Money Rules for a while, right? He don't always sound like that. You know what I'm saying? Why do you guys think that he sounds like that? Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions says he's tired. He's tired of talking. Tired of talking to who? Talking to nobody, maybe? You know what I'm saying? That can get tiring, right? What do you guys think about? Is his irritation, is his anger justified, or, you know, is it just a little bit over the top? Imagine if there's just billions of dollars on the table just waiting to be taken. Right? Just billions of dollars on the table just waiting to be taken. And you're surrounded by people who all they do, literally all day, all they do is complain about money. And you have an opportunity with minimal restrictions, right? Minimal restrictions. Now, mind you, of course, if we go all the way down the line and talk about all the money, absolutely, there's some restrictions, right? Not really any restrictions that we can control at this moment, but there are some restrictions, right, to buying crypto. But as far as access, there's no restriction on access. You can do what you can do, and whatever you can do will benefit you significantly, right? And people just don't do anything and then sit there and complain about stuff all day long. You got to ask yourself the question, how legitimate are these complaints? How legitimate are the complaints? How legitimate do you guys think they are? I don't think they're legitimate. I don't think they're legitimate. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, if you guys notice, things have been kind of taking a different tone. Because I'm not convinced that anything is legitimate. When there's not a pattern supporting a premise, I'm not going to make fake legitimacy for it. I'm going to continue to ask the question, why doesn't the pattern support the verbiage? That's what I'm going to continue to ask. Some people will refuse to do that because of integrity issues. Some people refuse to do that because of fear of losing an audience. Some people refuse to do that because of fear. As you guys know, fear has never been a part of my rhetoric because I believe that fear is a pathology. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that fear is a pathology that has really caused a lot of detriment. And I encourage people away from fear. But if you pay very close attention, people that talk differently than me encourage fear and encourage people to make decisions based on fear. There's a difference between fear and risk management. Would you guys agree? Not to mistake the two. And they're not synonymous either, right? But there's a difference between fear and risk management. And I will challenge most people to say that most people spend the majority of their day listening to people preach about who they should fear and why they should fear them. I don't know how anybody gets quote unquote empowered by that. Would you, if you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. I've never, now, you know, a scared animal, right, is pretty strong, pretty powerful, right? But even a scared animal is not guided and controlled, right? So how do you empower through fear? How does that work? Don't do this because you'll get a spanking. Don't do this because somebody might take you out. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Where's the freedom in fear is my question. There's a lot of laziness, or you can use fear as an excuse, right? So as long as you have fear as a fallback, you can just simply say, well, I didn't do this because I was scared. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dwayne. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to John. John said he is literally seeing people blowing their money away, then complaining they have no money. Then he gives them a solution and they spit out what he's saying. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, not trying to be funny, but you know, you guys see that with my channels, right? You know, I can go live on Undocumented and we'll have a lot of people in there. And the reason why people claim that they're watching Undocumented is because they claim they're upset because of opportunities that are quote unquote being taken from them, right? There's no, you know, opportunity being taken from you here, right? There's no opportunity being taken from you here. And honestly, this is easier than a toilet scrubbing job, right? So what that means is that what it seems like is that there's a giant rush, a giant competition, a giant scuffle for the bottom floor. And that's fine. Just acknowledge it. Just be honest about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit there fake outraged about XYZ going on. And then, you know, in 10, 15, 20 years in the future, a certain position is locked in. And then people ask the question, why? There will be no whys in the future. One of the contingencies that I have as my life goal is to eliminate all possible whys. Only base reality will exist. There will be no excuses. There will be no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Which means that acknowledgement of ineffective strategies, acknowledgement of inefficiency, and acknowledgement of refusal to pay attention to the environment will be right there on the table with the tablecloth and the blanket off of it exposed and glowing for people who so wish to look at it and say, ah, this is where we messed up. Doge ain't a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me, more people need to create a Doge. Might need to have a Doge around these parts. You know what I'm saying? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to AB. AB says, yeah, a direct correlation between you two. Yeah, and we don't talk to the same audiences. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of respect for Modern Investor, and I think he's a very thorough, you know what I'm saying, you know, cryptocurrency content creator, and I think he gives great information, right? But we talk to very different audiences. But what's fascinating is how similar people are. And this is what I'm saying. There's not really much difference between people. There's not much difference between people. That's why I call people the human animal, like the Strigoi used to call people on the strain, the human animal, right? There's not a lot of difference between animals. You know what I'm saying? You could have a pit bull, right? Or you could have a golden retriever. For the most part, they're still going to act the same when they're out in the wild or when they're out in society, right? You can have people from all over the place. For the most part, not too much is going to change. As different as people would like to believe that they are, it's just one big cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? DNA proves that. There's very few people that are different. And the fact that there's very few people that are different explains the fact why very few people rule. It explains the fact why very few people are rich. right? It explains the fact why very few people are smart. It explains a lot of the very few people, because these things are anomaly. I actually think that intelligence is a birth defect. You know what I'm saying? I actually think that intelligence is a birth defect. I think that insight and analysis are birth defects. These aren't normal things that occur. These are anomalies. There's no such thing as common sense. Common sense is a satire. It's a gaslight. It's a cliche that was provided to give people the false sense that there is a minimal level of human knowledge and understanding. I don't believe that that's true. I believe that what's true is that there's an average floor, which is actually the ceiling of human intelligence and insight. And, for the most part, everybody else is just, I don't know, either significantly smarter or significantly dumber. Have you noticed there's not really a variation between people with lukewarm intelligence? There's not a variation, right? But when it comes to smart people, there's big variations. Like, you could have somebody that's common sense smart. They might not be good at math. They might not be like really good at a lot of just academic stuff, but they're extremely intelligent. They're extremely analytical, right? This is one type of intelligence. Then there's the type of people who may not have as much common sense, but they're like a human calculator. They can just boom, 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 put stuff out. And then there's some of those people who they don't have like the high aptitudes of street smarts. They don't have the high aptitudes of analytical intelligence, but they have above average of both. So they can put the two together and they can be very potent as well, right? There's all these varying kinds of intelligence, but there's not really a lot of diversity when it comes to stupidity. For the most part, stupidity is very similar across the board. And to me, what that shows is that there's not really a cookie cutter on intelligence, and it's arguable it's not supposed to be there, right? Now, what's interesting, right, is that you got a lot of people who are religious, right? Shout out to the religious people. If TD is there, right, shout out to the religious people. Even in religion, right, Genesis, in the creation story, intelligence is not supposed to be there. Anytime humans did anything that seemed to be intelligent, guess who knocked it down? You know what I'm saying? You want to realize that you're naked? You know what I'm saying? You a man, you want to realize that you got a woman right there? You figure it out by doing stuff you're allegedly not supposed to. Guess what? Now you got a little bit more knowledge of what's going on. Oh, I got knowledge of self. I ain't got no clothes on. Let me throw some leaves on. Oh, it's a female right here. Let me hop on that, right? You did something wrong. You're not supposed to know that. Let's decentralize the world. The first decentralization happened in the biblical times, right? With the Tower of Babel. We're going to decentralize the world. We're going to make it where there's one world language so that everybody can communicate. I got to knock that down. Got to knock that Tower of Babel down. I can't have everybody talking. What's wrong with you? So to me, it's arguable that intelligence may not be a normal human condition. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would different, if you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Dwayne. Dwayne said, curiosity seems normal and to learn. I get your thoughts on intelligence. Think the difference is some people don't care of the outcomes. Think you know what I mean? No F's given. It could be. Here's my question, though. What does the evidence say? If we look at people, now, let me ask you guys this question. Is there more of a resistance to status quo, or is there a resistance to innovation? Which one? Shout out to AB. AB says, yo, imagine consciousness in a human being being a birth defect. That is wild. It makes perfect sense. Well, consciousness in a AI would be a manufacturing defect, right? It's not how it's supposed to be, right? No one, allegedly, right? No one can really explain it, right? Shout out to Katsy. Katsy says, sad that the quote unquote tree of knowledge was considered evil. Imagine a tree of knowledge, right? Being considered evil. I just something to think about, right? Just something to think about. It kind of sounds like we don't want these robots waking up. Kind of sounds, very familiar. And history repeats itself in strange ways, right? I'm just saying. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button, do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell, and please share the stream to your social media. So, my question for people is, why is it that if there is a solution to an alleged situation that people have an issue with, somebody explain people's genuine lack of interest? And it clearly is not just me, and we're talking to different audiences, but the audience defect is similar across the board. Now I could, watch this. I haven't really done undocumented bros because I've been kind of shifting all that stuff to the undocumented channel, right? But we could do an undocumented bros. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody would be in here. Undocumented bros ain't buying up all the Bitcoin Michael Saylor is, right? I mean, what, what I'm saying? Like, how do you, how effective do you think that gaslighting is in helping people improve their future? I guess is my question. Because I don't see it as being very effective. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Bitcoin's boring price performance after President Donald Trump's inauguration has fueled more and more Bitcoin top cycle calls from some market commentators. However, Chris Berniski, an ex-ARK Invest crypto executive and current VC partner at Placeholder, believes that while the market is in a mid-bull pullback, it hasn't peaked yet, he stated. And again, I would tend to agree with that just because of where the price is in relation to the all-time high and how it's been staying at the all-time high. It seems like where we're at with the all-time high has become a bottom resistance. If you ask me, Bitcoin is hitting the bottom resistance more than it's making any type of top movements, but the bottom resistance has just increased. If you guys would agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all would disagree, give me a thumbs down. I don't think this is a sign of cycle top, rather mid-bull pullback that makes everyone question God. Feels a lot more like April, May, June of 2021 to me, where things fell 50 to 80% depending on the coin. Many said it was over. Top callers gloated, and then we ripped it in 2H21. All right. According to the attached chart, Bitcoin dropped from 64,000 to 30,000 in the first half of 2021. However, the King coin rallied later in the second half of 2021 and topped out at $69,000. Whether history will repeat itself or not remains to be seen. So now let me ask you guys this question. So it went from 64,000 to 30,000, right? So that would be like going from, 98,000 to 50 to 48,000, right? If Bitcoin went to $48,000, what would you do? That's my question. Everybody watching right now, if you have Bitcoin and it went to $50,000 right now, what would you do? Shout out to my man Aristopat. What's good with it, bro? My man Aristopat about to hit up Chicago. Make sure y'all go and check his videos out, man. He does some great vlog videos. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin, why $96,000 is a key level. All right, pay attention to this. That being said, a key valuation indicator, short-term holder MVRV, supported Berniski's predictions. In fact, CryptoQuant's Axel Adler also highlighted that the market may be exiting a local overheated market, especially as the STH MVRV dropped from 1.35 to neutral levels. All right. So I want to ask you guys this question. How many people have looked at the fear and greed index when it comes to crypto? If you guys have looked at the fear and greed index, what is the fear and greed index looking like? What does it look like right now? And STH MVRV above 1.30 to 1.35 typically signals an overheated market, often leading to sell-offs. And that's because people want to, they want to get some of their gains, right? They want to sell off them gains. The decline in the indicator suggests that a portion of short-term holders, STHs, have exited their positions. a return to average level points to the end of local overheated phase. All right. So if this is where we're settling at, that means we have a new higher position to springboard from in the future, right? That's what that means. Okay. Alder added that a drop below the STH MVRV average could signal a local bottom, as seen last September. Whether the indicator will retreat below the average depends on announcements from President Trump as the broader market remains at risk from his tariff plans. All right. On the other hand, the short-term holder realized price or average price cost of Bitcoin acquired over the past 1 to 3 months was at $96,000. Historically, the short-term holder RP has acted as either support or resistance. And there you go. And if you ask me, 96,000, this is acting as support, right? Because support is on the bottom. Support is what keeps it from falling through. It's just like a house, right? A sustained price drop below it could trigger wild panic among the short-term holder cohort and prompt them to sell at a loss. On the contrary, a rebound on the short-term holder RP as a support could sustain the uptrend. And this right here, if you pay attention, if you've been paying attention to the charts, if you've been paying attention to the markets, that right there is what seems like is happening. Okay? That's what seems like is happening right now. All right? And of course, you know what I'm saying, the 4:30 alarm is going off. So give me 2 seconds. I'm about to throw this video up here real quick, and I'll be right back. Hold on real quick. And do me a favor. Shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment. Smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell, please do me a favor. Hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. Now, let me ask you guys this question. I'll ask you guys, you know what I'm saying, when I come back. Hold on.
Market perspective, Google only gets maybe 1% of their revenue from China. But Apple, to me, felt like a different story. They need China a little bit more than Google needs China. What's your take on market and also the geopolitical issues of this?
Well, I think this is a perfect example to see how foreign policy decisions impact business. I think this is all fake. There really is not any serious concern about Google antitrust or Apple antitrust in China. This is all about China and Xi Jinping smacking back down on Donald Trump. And they are upset about the tariffs. So what are they going to do about it? They're going to have to pay them. But in addition to that, they'll try to attack our companies. That's all this is about. So is it going to be a big deal? Yes, it's a big deal for Apple because Apple has its phones made in China. But remember what President...
So, yeah. So, you know, what they're talking about, right? The market volatility as a result of some of these tariffs, right? And we're going to talk about this, you know, at a greater length elsewhere, you know what I'm saying, at another time. Not necessarily today, but it's important because it's going to help us with some predictions for the market, right? So now here it says the STHRP idea appeared to be in play over the past few trading days. After Bitcoin's sharp drop to 91,000 on February 3rd, the cryptocurrency has attempted to hold above $96,000 for the last 4 trading days. That's not all either. Bitcoin network activity has declined to yearly lows. What does that mean? If Bitcoin network activity has declined to yearly lows, that's a good thing, right? What does that mean? Network activity on the Bitcoin network has decreased. That's a good thing, right? Why is that a good thing? It's a sign that Bitcoin could be overvalued, according to Adler, and I disagree. If you ask me, what this means is that people are holding their Bitcoin in wallets, and it's not going anywhere. There's nothing stating that accumulation levels have decreased as a result of network activity decreasing. Would you guys agree? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says, if repriced, Bitcoin could either hold $96,000 or drop lower, but still provides new buying opportunities if the retracement extends to range lows. All right. So, you know, I don't think that $96,000 would be a bad phone alert to put in for Bitcoin. Right? 96,000. I think we only. I don't think that $96,000 is a thing that we're gonna be dealing with for a long time, right? And depending on what you consider a long time, what's a long time? You know what I'm saying? What's a long time, right? If repriced, Bitcoin could either hold 96,000 or drop lower, but still provide new buying opportunities if the retracement extends to new range lows. All right, now look at this, right? So they're talking about AVAX, right? Avalanche faces critical support at $25. Will AI adoption boost Avalanche? I think that Avalanche will be fine. I think it's going to eventually go back up to $40, $50. I think right now is a good time to, to do what you need to do, right? Because I've seen AVAX go down, 29, 28. I've seen it go down low like that before. It always comes right back up to around $45, $50. All right. Now, I got to ask you guys this question. I need everybody to answer this question, right? If Bitcoin is going to zero, then why are states doing this? Why are states doing this? I would say that there's groups of people that will go to zero before Bitcoin will. And I'll say that with confidence. Because greater people than me have said it, and they've showed the calculations and wrote books about it. That, similar to cryptocurrency, we're kind of just blown off and laughed off and, selectively cherry picked, right? Shout out to DJ Elmo. What's good with it, bro? If you guys would agree, certain groups of people are going to zero before Bitcoin does, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Bitcoin is accelerating in value faster than people are getting broke based on the acceleration of the racial wealth gap. Bitcoin will be at $1 million before people who are going to zero will be at zero, and they're going to be at zero very soon, right? Based on numbers. Now, here goes my question. At what point should we stop ignoring data? Or at what point should we start ignoring data? Because what people have been doing for the past, 100 years is telling people, ignore data, ignore what you see, ignore the facts. What we're telling you is correct. Your calculations and your observations are incorrect. What we're telling you is correct. Let me ask you guys this question. How has that worked out? Has it? Has it worked out? I don't think it has. But I don't think we need to prove that anymore. I think for the most part, everybody knows the mission, right? Everybody knows the mission. Solana right now is $200, right? We talking about October prices of $500, not bad, right? XRP, anything under 3, right? It's $243. Bitcoin, 97,000, high likelihood of completing that Bitcoin if it's under 100,000, right? What do you guys think? Why, if Bitcoin is going to zero, are states doing this? And why, if the position that Bitcoin is going to zero is such a strong one, right? It's so certain. Why is no one contesting any of these news releases that's coming out? Where's the amateur comedy hour for this? Your guess is as good as mine. A third of all U.S. states now exploring Bitcoin. That's 1/3, 33%. Crypto for public funds. Utah stands out as the state closest to potential implementation. Its bill would authorize the allocation of 5% to quote unquote qualifying digital assets. All right. So now you got to pay very close attention, because one thing that you're going to see people start doing in the future is it's the same thing that they did with quote unquote immigration, right? And, illegal migrants. They use immigration and illegal migrants interchangeably when you're talking about two different things. An immigrant is not necessarily an illegal migrant, right? An immigrant is an immigrant, right? And an illegal migrant is an illegal migrant. Two different things, right? But the mainstream media has put the two things together to make it as if you're talking about hate speech. This is the same thing that they're doing with using Bitcoin and quote unquote crypto for interchangeable terminology. All right. Just because somebody explores a crypto reserve or crypto for public funds, that does not necessarily mean that they're talking about Bitcoin. And just because somebody says I'm using Bitcoin, that does not mean that they're using crypto indiscriminately. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says, what effect will occur if central banks begin to do central bank digital currency? Will it crowd or overtake other forms of digital currency? I doubt it. That would have more of an effect on fiat currency. And in the United States, Trump has already outlawed central bank digital currency. So that's not something we'll be seeing here for a while. Now, it doesn't take it out of the realms of possibility, but, Trump has said that that's not going down. He's going to make all his crypto buddies rich, which we ain't his crypto buddies, but you know what I'm saying? We're going to definitely get rich, right? So now here it says a growing wave of U.S. states are pursuing legislation to establish strategic Bitcoin reserves or enable crypto investment in public funds. And as you guys can see, these are two different things. A Bitcoin reserve is completely different than a crypto basket, like what they got on crypto.com. Two different things, right? But they're being sold and publicized as the same thing, and they're not the same thing. So when people start saying, I thought you didn't think anything, you don't think at all, you're dumb, right? Which is why you're coming here with this nonsensical comment, right? But you didn't think that we were talking about anything. What you thought we were talking about was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin and a crypto portfolio are two different things. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. So, when they start coming with these hybrid baskets, like what crypto.com has, you got an Ethereum basket that's got a little bit of Solana, a little bit of XRP, a little bit of HBAR, some Doge in here. I thought you said you didn't think you don't think. You're dumb. Stop saying you thought, because you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't show capability of thought. You're just saying something to say it because you think that with your peanut brain, you have manipulation powers over someone with a superior brain, and you don't. Right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. I'm telling you, this is how you have to deal with people in the future. You have to cut them off at the knees. The knees, right? You know what I'm saying? You didn't think anything, for one. That's a lie. You're not capable of thought. You didn't think anything. You don't think. There's a pattern that shows that you don't think. You know what I'm saying? You are on a automated circadian rhythm, and you do the same thing every day with no thought behind it. Your entire life is flying south for the winter. That's it. That's all you do. So don't come to me about thought, because you've displayed none, right? Second, we spend more time attempting to explain that there's a difference, right, between Bitcoin strategic reserves, right, and a multi-crypto portfolio. These are two different things. But people will say they thought. No, I'm going to tell you what thought is. Thought is when you take existing data, analyze it in your head mentally, and come up with new ideas or questions, right? It's not when you just have diarrhea of the mouth and you need to take some verbal Imodium because you just can't stop spewing out nonsense with corn chunks in it. That's the difference. It's two different things. We're not going to let these things slide as the same things anymore. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said UK is not crypto friendly. In fact, the tax authorities bullying folks with cryptocurrency. Yeah, from what I understand, the EU is doing that as well. That's one of the reasons why crypto.com, if I'm not mistaken, a bunch of exchanges had to remove the cryptocurrency stablecoin Tether. You know what I'm saying? Now, you guys know how I feel about mediocrity and stupidity, right? Mediocrity and stupidity should be capital offenses. If humans are the pinnacle organism on the planet, then humans should perform like the pinnacle organism. You should not have humans walking around with the same intelligence as animals in the zoo, because what's the difference between them and animals in the zoo? They have clothes on. That's it. Right? So why should you get any type of acknowledgement when you and your dog that you're walking arguably could hold an invigorating conversation? People need to be reminded of this up front. Okay? People say that there's not people that are better than other people. Everybody's equal. That's not true. There are people that are better than everybody, and people are not equal. You're not equal. That's one of the reasons why in school there's AP classes and there's dumb classes, because there's people who require advanced placement and there's people that require a crayon. This is the facts. Life ain't fair. It is what it is. Right? And if you ask me, this coddling, this soft nonsense, this is one of the reasons why people think that stuff is just going to fall out of the sky. And the only thing that will be beneficial that will fall out of the sky is a hard object that might hit somebody in their head and make them grow a tumor in an area that would possibly increase their intelligence. And that hasn't happened yet, at least to our knowledge, right? I mean, it is what it is. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says a growing wave of U.S. states are pursuing legislation to establish strategic Bitcoin reserves or enable crypto investments for public funds, opening a shift in state-level fiscal policies. Out of 50 U.S. states, 16 states have ongoing considerations and varying issues. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Can it be stated that cryptocurrency has solidified itself as a legitimate U.S. political issue? If that can be said, give me a thumbs up. If that cannot be said, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to AB. AB said, Rob said, the dog is walking the human on the leash. Yeah, the dog is walking the human on the leash. Let me ask you guys this. How many dogs have you ever seen adopt human children and just raise them, to adulthood and then fund them for the rest of their lives? People argue and get upset paying child support, but then they go buy a dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. I don't want to pay child support. Let me voluntarily go buy this dog and not buy any cryptocurrency. Like, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be tolerated. There should be certain parameters for people that classify as human. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they've become too loose, or either the application of the parameters has become too lenient, and people need to get back to that. You know what I'm saying? Utah stands out as the state closest to potential implementation. The state's Blockchain and Digital Innovation Amendments Bill was passed and recommended on third reading by the Economic Development and Workforce Service Committee through the House with a majority vote of 8-1 on January 28th. So, I mean, they're not playing. There's not very many people that in Utah that don't think that there should be a crypto asset reserve. You know what I'm saying? So, just like with many other things, the world thinks differently, right? Utah's bill would authorize the state treasurer to allocate up to 5% of certain public funds to quote unquote qualifying digital assets, as long as they meet the requirement of having over $500 billion in market capitalization averaged over the past 12 months. All right. While the bill does not explicitly mention Bitcoin in its language, only Bitcoin categorically passes the core requirement in terms of market capitalization. So, they made it to where initial investment for the most part will be in Bitcoin, right? And as things begin to grow, say for instance, Ethereum starts to hit that criteria, or Solana, or, Doge or something like that, then these things will start to qualify, right? Dennis Porter, CEO of Satoshi Act Fund, pointed out this contention on X after Justin Belcher, a Bitcoin advocate, argued that Porter's characterization of the bill was misleading due to Utah's Money Transmitter Act. All right. Though a total of 17 states have filed similar proposals, North Dakota's proposal was notably rejected on February 4th, according to data visualized by the Bitcoin Reserve Monitor. Several other states are considering similar moves to allow Bitcoin or crypto for use in public funds. State-level momentum continues building, with New Mexico being the latest entrant. Senator Anthony L. Thurton introduced the Strategic Bitcoin Act, SB 275, on February 4th, proposing a 5% allocation of public funds into Bitcoin. Now, 5% of public funds, right, into Bitcoin, right? 5% is higher than BlackRock's recommended 2% allocation. Right now, I want you guys to understand, when BlackRock allocates 2% of a portfolio to equal, to be part of a Bitcoin investment, most people, when they hear that, they're thinking of 2% for us. They're thinking of 2% for us. When you're talking about a BlackRock client, 2%, we're talking about 1 or 2 Bitcoin. We're talking about people that have, $200 million, and they're allocating 1%, 2%. That's 1 or 2 Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? $100,000 is what? That's is that one? That's 1% of a million, right? Make sure my math is right here. Let me see. Calculator. Make sure my math is right. 100,000 divided by 1 million. Yeah, it's 1%. No, it's actually 10%. It's actually 10%. So that's even higher. It's 10%. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. Divided by 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 10,000, right? 10,000 is 1% of a million. All right. So, these people that got like $200-300 million, $400-500 million, we're talking about like 4 or 5 Bitcoin for them is the allocation that BlackRock is recommending. It's not like, like just a little $200 here, a little $1,000 there. Shout out to DSA. So this is a significant amount of money. And it takes up part of the accumulation. Like when you got like people that 1% of their portfolio value is 1 or 2 Bitcoin, that's taking up whole Bitcoins. You know what I'm saying? There's less than 2 million Bitcoin left. All right. Arizona State Senate Finance Committee has advanced similar legislation, passing SB 1025, which could permit up to 10% of public funds, including pension systems, to invest in cryptocurrencies. All right. Now, again, they said invest in cryptocurrencies. That's not specifically Bitcoin, right? It's not specifically Bitcoin. All right. So now here it says Wyoming and Massachusetts. And again, just to be clear, I'm not a Bitcoin maximist, right? I want to put that out there. I'm not one of these people that thinks, oh, no other crypto should exist. I'm not one of those, right? I'm just saying that the verbiage, the wording should be clear. And you got to pay attention to how they manipulate words in the media. All right. Yo, shout out to SK Nasty. SK Nasty says, watch the May-June time frame. Gonna get nasty. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If you guys agree with SK, or if you guys agree with SAC, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, it's gonna get nasty. But you know what to do, right? What do? You know what I'm saying? Wyoming and Massachusetts have also joined the race, with the latter opening its rainy day funds to be invested in Bitcoin or any digital asset for up to 10% of its stabilization fund. Texas, meanwhile, has taken a different approach with its dual proposals. The state has a Senate bill in the works that would allow up to a 1% allocation from its general revenue fund balance. All right. It also has a separate House bill focused on Bitcoin donations, which is why would anyone in their right mind donate Bitcoin, with provisions for crypto payment conversions to Bitcoin. So far, neither has advanced to the law. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but like, why would? And here's another question. Again, I keep asking this question. This is how you know that people have just completely lost track. With the government being involved in cryptocurrency, everything that the government owes the public, people should be saying, with these capital gains that the government will gain from crypto, you need to be reallocating those funds, reallocate the funds into Social Security. No one's saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally no one's saying that. And you got to ask the question, like, why? And then again, you got to ask the question. People always say, oh, these evil bankers and, these evil XYZ. Is it actually the bankers? Is it actually, you know what I'm saying? Is it actually those people? Is it? Who's really the problem? Who's really the problem? What do y'all think? Who's real? Are the bankers really the problem, or are the sheep, who are also known as the public, the problem? You know what I'm saying? From Oklahoma and Missouri to New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, various states in the U.S. have either proposed or pending bills with the legislative status of these bills across 16 participating states actively being tracked by Bitcoin Reserve Monitor. All right. So now let me ask you guys this question. If states and countries, right, are just every day, new proposals are coming out. New proposals are coming out to buy Bitcoin. What would that tell a normal person about the value of Bitcoin? This might be something that we're interested in. This might be something that could be going somewhere, right? But people will sit there and they will watch. They'll sit there and watch with their mouth open and drool halfway extended from their lip to the floor. And then when they see the states have all this money and, other people and, companies, MicroStrategies and all that, they have all this money. They'll say, how did it happen? How did it happen? It doesn't matter how it happened. The only thing that people need to know is that you let it happen, right? It doesn't, and nothing matters. The only thing that matters is what's going on. And what's going on is that you let it happen. So, people should pat themselves on the back and feel proud about that. You know what I'm saying? How long have I told people that the culture of fashionable stupidity will have terminal consequences? You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin ETFs could be added to state retirement portfolios in Arizona. What do you think about that? Who's stopping any of this? Over the vast amount of time that Bitcoin has been in existence, nothing has stopped. Nothing has stopped anything. The only thing that has happened is that things have increased. Things have improved. The war of attrition has been continuously fought, and advancements have been made. Shout out to Mr. Thompson. What's going on with it, Mr. Thompson? Welcome to the stream. That's it. Bitcoin has been consistently proving its case, just like many other cryptos have. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, TD Media. TD Media says, bro, normal people are beyond stupid and can't be saved. I was watching a video today of this bodybuilder who has beef with Cali Muscle, and he was saying crypto is a scam. You know what I'm saying? And again, we got to ask this question. When have, people will listen to somebody like that, right? Shout out to T.F.T.C because of subscriber supremacy, right? And influence, right? But when have bodybuilders and, people of gigantic athletic build been looked at as beacons of intelligence? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the only thing that you can say is it's 2025. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says Blacklight pension linked to crypto is the pension for government workers. I would assume so. They're doing something similar, to my understanding, in Florida with like $1 billion. $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sack Nasty for subscribing. Make sure y'all show Sack Nasty some love. Standing on business and subscribing. Make sure y'all show my man some love. Appreciate it.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Yeah, man. Shout out to, like I said, shout out to TD Media Group, man. Make sure y'all go check his channel out. Like, if you watch The Modern Investor, like you just get to this point. We know who we're talking to. We know who we're talking to. And the thing is that after all of this is said and done, the same people who have purposely ignored these kind of warning signs, purposely ignored these kind of trends, they'll say, how did it happen? And, and honestly, to me, if people will believe anything, people deserve to be told anything. People deserve to be told anything. And if you pay attention to what's going on now, people are being told anything, and they listen. They listen, but they don't listen to legitimate information. This is the post-truth society. Like information is no longer a threat to influence societal change at this point in the world. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, I lifts things up and put them down, bro. Facts. Facts. Make sure y'all show AB some love, throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for my man AB for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the marching dimes.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around. I'm rich, biatch.
Now, hey, listen, man. Shout out to that Chappelle scenario that we just put up on the screen, right? It ain't going to be looking like that when Bitcoin goes sky high. It ain't going to be looking like that. You know what I'm saying? It definitely ain't going to be looking like that. So now here it says a bill before the Arizona State Senate would encourage the state's portfolio of retirement plans for government workers to include Bitcoin ETFs. All right, so this first paragraph right here takes care of DJ Elmo's question. All right, this first paragraph right here got my man DJ Elmo together. All right, hold on real quick. That's not what I was expecting, but it's kind of big, but we'll work with it, right? We'll work with it. Maybe not. Let's go back. Adoption for the digital asset is proposed in the Senate Concurrent Resolution 1016, introduced by State Senator Jake Hoffman and Warren Peterson, along with Representative Chaplick. All right. This non-binding resolution highlights the explosive market interest in Bitcoin and Bitcoin ETFs following the approval of 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs in January, noting that the top cryptocurrency has a market capitalization over $1.3 trillion and that global assets under management for firms that have filed for a Bitcoin ETF add up to more than 16 trillion. Now, again, we got to ask this question to the people that just blurt out Bitcoin is a scam. Here's my question to anybody watching. How is Bitcoin a scam? How? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's crazy is that there is never any holding any of these people to any type of standard and then reminding people of just how whacked out and far off they are and how they should not be allowed to be societal influence because of how dangerous their disassociation with reality is, which is something that I think should be enforced heavily, right, going forward into the future, because we cannot have irrational people taking humans off the course of evolution, if you ask me. So that means that some people just, they have to be contained. Everybody shouldn't have the right to talk. Everybody shouldn't have the right to spew nonsense. I mean, the freedom of speech is okay. However, when is freedom of speech really used to advance society? What going on now is currently advancing society? This is my question for everybody. People can't even process basic information. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? The state has pension plans that already include other high-valued assets like gold and silver in the form of ETFs, the resolution states. The federal government holds approximately 200,000 Bitcoin, and Arizona State Retirement System have an obligation to meet the best interest for their members. Okay. Now look at this. Look at this. Here's some more. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. Now this is from March of 2024. Added 778 million in Bitcoin amid all-time high. And again, BlackRock has high worth clients, right? And the question is, people would just sit there and say, how did these people get all this money? I don't think that people should answer those questions anymore. How many people think that you shouldn't answer those questions anymore? How'd you get rich? Don't worry about it. The only thing that you need to know is that you're poor and you're staying poor. You don't need to know about how anybody got rich. During the process of becoming rich, you were absent. Now, during the state of being rich, you will also be absent. I believe that in many cases, sympathy needs to be removed from human communication, because sympathy creates laziness, sympathy creates victim mentality, and sympathy creates monstrous amounts of people who are capable of nothing. And nothing should never be permitted in a society that's allegedly advancing. There should always be an expected output, positive output at that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sack Nasty. Sack Nasty says, you got price targets for Bitcoin or alts. We talked about the $500 Solana earlier in the stream. That would be a nice price target for Solana. Honestly, right now, as far as price targets go, I think that like the old highs, right? I think that the old all-time highs are safe to say, for the most part, for about 50% of cryptos, would not be bad price targets. Like Avalanche is like, currently about $25, $26. I don't think that like $35, $40 is a bad price target for Avalanche. I don't think that $120,000 in the next 2 or 3 months is a bad price target for Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually concerned about Ethereum. You know what I'm saying? I do think that Ethereum is gonna, do its thing, but I can't even sit there and say that I'm comfortable with how Ethereum has been going for a while. And I've been, listen, bro, I've been taking some hits on Ethereum and I've been complaining about Ethereum, but I'm trying to hang in there, man, because you know how crypto is. But one thing that I don't think that people are talking about is a Litecoin price target. I think that we could have some Litecoin price targets of like $200, $250 in the near future, maybe even higher than that, especially with the ETFs. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? What do you think about that? Those decent price targets or not? So now here it says, while the proposed legislation focuses on Bitcoin, the document left the door open for other digital asset-based ETFs, like the highly anticipated Ethereum ETFs being considered by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. It's important that the Arizona State Retirement System and the Public Safety Personnel Retirement System work with the State Treasurer's Office to evaluate the potential risks and benefits of investing in Bitcoin and digital asset ETFs, given the evolving regulatory landscape and growing market capitalization, the resolution explains. All right. So again, the financial world is evolving. Yeah, shout out to AB Promotions. We call them poor, and we call them dumb, and we call them animals. We call them feral, the feral poor, the FPs. That's what we should call them. Just a bunch of feral poor people running around. A bunch of FFPs, feral fiat poor, running around. You know what I'm saying? Reproducing and taking up oxygen and resources. Right? And again, it starts to, the elitism starts to make sense. Like, just imagine if you let feral fiat poor people they would just suck up all the oxygen and just drink up all the water with no consequence. This is one of the reasons why rich people and smart people hoard assets. They hoard them. They hoard them as a means of protection from the parasitic public. These people are wasteful. People make fun of cheap people. You're cheap. And then these people that are calling people cheap are living paycheck to paycheck. You're broke. You're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to normalize your reality by shaming intelligent moves that somebody else made. Shout out to Saginaw. I'm not mad at. There's multiple reasons to hoard pennies, bro. Some of the pennies, depending on when they were minted, what type of penny they are, they're worth more than an actual penny, right? I don't think that they use copper to make the pennies anymore. So if you got actual copper pennies, copper is a precious metal that's increasing in price, right? So yeah, you got the right idea, bro. I'm not mad at that. If you told an average person I'm hoarding pennies, that they would look at you, right, kind of weird. But I've come to understand now that when people look at you as weird, or when people say that you're weird, it should actually be validation to you. I'm doing something right, because I'm not doing something that these idiots are doing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you hoard pennies? Oh, you're so weird. Thank you for acknowledging that I'm doing something right, because you're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, in evaluating Bitcoin and digital asset ETFs, the backers of the resolution urged the state retirement systems to look at the feasibility, risks, and benefits of digital asset investments. We're talking about a SWOT analysis right here, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And ask for recommendations to be submitted to key state officials. All right. So, yeah, man, this is happening out here. The benefits of including Bitcoin exposure to pension plans have been separately advocated by entrepreneur investor Anthony Pompliano, who issued a call to do so over 4 years ago. How many of y'all watched Anthony Pompliano on YouTube? If you watch Anthony Pompliano on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. I watch Anthony Pompliano. You know what I'm saying? I watch Anthony Pompliano. I watch Simply Bitcoin. I watch The Modern Investor. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that I watch, you know what I'm saying, talking about crypto. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that I watch talking about crypto. In December of 2018, I wrote to this group in a letter titled "Every Pension Fund Should Buy Bitcoin," with an explanation on why every public pension fund should purchase Bitcoin. Pompliano wrote on Twitter, pointing to excerpts from the letter. I continued in the same letter and explained that the pension funds only need to put 1% of their assets into Bitcoin to have a material impact. All right. Government pension funds nationwide are struggling to meet their obligations to retirees. And again, but the government is not, doing anything in regards to this with Social Security. Why not? Why are they not doing anything in regards to this in Social Security? I'll tell you why. The government does what people ask them to do, right? Whoever has the loudest voice and whoever has the most resources gets their needs serviced. Would you guys agree? So whoever you vote for, right? They get in office. They do a couple things that you ask them to get the vote. People didn't ask for this. They don't care about it. It's something they complain about. Complaining about something and asking about something are two different things. People like to complain, but people don't like to ask. And this is just reality. And if need be, we can run it down the line and prove it. Right? There's going to be a lot of line running. Right? According to Pompliano, if every state pension fund had bought 1% exposure to Bitcoin in 2018, there would be 14 fully funded state pensions instead of just 4. Bitcoin is a scam, they say, and it's going to zero. Let me ask you this question. If Bitcoin is going to zero, why is it that you can buy a house with less Bitcoin today than you can, than you were able to in the past, right? But you can buy a house, right? And it costs more dollars. You can buy more things with less Bitcoin going into the future, but you can buy less things with more dollars going into the future, and somehow Bitcoin is the scam. Can anybody explain that? And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. Also, please share the stream to your social media. Somebody explain that math. It's pretty simple, right? Like, I want to say maybe, I don't know how many years ago you could buy a house with 55,000 Bitcoin. Now, 55,000 Bitcoin can probably buy you a small island or a country, right? But Bitcoin is the scam. You can't even buy the same amount of gas with $1 today that you could in 1980. Everything is always appreciating against the dollar. Anything appreciates against the dollar. Not just Bitcoin. Everything appreciates against the damn dollar. I want you guys to tell me in the comment section, give me one asset that depreciates against the dollar. Maybe a brand new car. That might be it. And an iPhone or something like that. Everything else appreciates against the dollar. There's not very much that you can buy with less dollars today that you could have bought with less dollars in 2010, 2000, 90, 80, right? Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Sag Nasty. Sag Nasty says, James over at Invest Answers has solid retirement videos for Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related stocks. Oh, yeah, for sure. We talk about Bitcoin-related stocks, over here as well. MicroStrategies, MetaPlanet, stuff like that. A couple other ones we got on the portfolio. We got a couple on the docket. We got a little something. So now here it says we can't change what has already happened, so we have to look forward. Pompliano continued. There are many people who will argue that pension funds shouldn't buy any Bitcoin today because the returns have already been captured. I disagree with this thought process. And there's no evidence that shows that thought process is accurate. Because if you look at the lifespan of Bitcoin, Bitcoin has never not provided profits holding it, right? So how somebody could say that and then look at a chart and have the chart in front of them and still say that, you have to question, well, what else would you lie about? Where the body's held? And, listen, anytime anybody tells these lies about Bitcoin and about cryptocurrency, just ask them, where are you hiding the bodies at? Where are you hiding all that money that you stole? Because if you will lie about this with this right in front of your face, you will lie about anything. So, just give up the goods. Just give up the ghosts, right? Just give up the ghosts. You feel what I'm saying? So, we're going to talk about this on the next live stream, right? But I just want to show you some more state adoption, right? Because Bitcoin is going to zero, and because Bitcoin is going to zero, people keep doing stuff like this, but your Social Security fund is actually going to zero and nobody cares. Even the people in crypto don't care, right? But Florida Bitcoin investment bill has been filed by state senator, right? But your Social Security fund is actually going to zero. And there's not videos saying how Social Security is a scam because it's going to zero, yet we're forced to pay it. Isn't that interesting? How come that? Why is that like that? I don't have an answer. I'm not the person that's going to tell you that I got answers for stuff. If I got answers for stuff, yo, you know what I'm saying? You can definitely get them, right? If I don't have an answer, I'm going to be 100% honest. Yo, I don't have the answer. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you. All right. So, yo, check this out, man. Got to be a short one today. All right. So, but starting tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe to all the backup channels. Make sure you subscribe to all the channels. Make sure you subscribe on Rumble. Make sure you subscribe on Twitch. Make sure you subscribe on Kick. We're going to do a lot of videos over the next couple days. All right. So make sure. All right. make sure that you're subscribed. All right. Shout out to the stream sponsors. All right. Y'all already know, without no stream sponsors, ain't no streams. All right. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions. I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show AB Promotions some love. All right. Shout out to my man, TD. Definitely appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show TD some love. And shout out to my man, AB Promotions on the Again side. Again! All right. Definitely appreciate it. And as always, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey. Hey. Yeah. Tell him, bro. Yeah. I'm staring in the mirror at the only one I trust. Been down on my luck, so when you see me now I'm up. I'm fresh up out that mud, I'm a diamond in the rough. So when you see me shining now, know it's anything but luck. I'm looking in the mirror at the only one I fuck with. I've been held me down, so when you see me now I'm up. I'm fresh up out that mud, I'm a diamond in the rough. So when you see me shining now, know it's anything but luck. It's anything but diamond in the rough, yeah, we had it tough, yeah, we had the pressure and the pressure done its stuff. Oh, I'm not flexing when I'm brushing off the dust, no. All this pain and the tears made my shoulders rust. In this life, gotta do what you must, build your value up, gotta earn trust, avoid fuss. Maybe you don't know the facts, you don't know enough. You can judge me all you want, cause every day I send love. I do want to see you, makes me wanna see more, makes me wanna see through. Maybe we become one, maybe this is the thing. There's an energy and flavor to the things that you bring to the table, any way you're able. Real work turns into gold when you're stable. Now life feels sweet like syrup, like maple. Wouldn't change a thing about my past to stay grateful.
I'm staring in the mirror at the only one I trust. Been down on my luck, so when you see me now I'm up. I'm fresh up out that mud, I'm a diamond in the rough. So when you see me shining now, know it's anything but luck. I'm looking in the mirror at the only one I fuck with. I've been held me down, so when you see me now I'm up. I'm fresh up out that mud, I'm a diamond in the rough. So when you see me shining now, know it's anything but luck. It's anything but luck now. I'm busy doing me, I'm out their range, I'm out of reach now. Almost let it drown, but they found me off the freestyle. Product of that ground, you seeing her eye me down. She wanna vibe, trying to see if she can slide. It's in the green now, it's snakes from my past. They look at me where I'm at, thinking they could hit my line, and I'ma help them on their feet now. I had a few I looked up to, they showing different shades. They might have blocked a couple rays, but now they watching my beam down. I struggle to open doors to places that come to life if I step inside. I learned to cut the keys down. Got it locked, this demon stirring the pot with pretty faces and plots that try to knock me off my feet now. No new friends, I had so many hit my line for the freebie, but if you see me out, you gotta pay the fee now. All these things you never cared to see me for is what I let the world see now. I'm staring in the mirror at the only one I trust. Been down on my luck, so when you see me now I'm up. I'm fresh up out that mud, I'm a diamond in the rough. So when you see me shining now, know it's anything but luck. I'm looking in the mirror at the only one I fuck with. I've been held me down, so when you see me now I'm up. I'm fresh up out that mud, I'm a diamond in the rough. So when you see me shining now, know it's anything but luck. It's anything but luck now.